Hello, everybody. It's great to have you on this call. And the speaker this evening is from South Africa, a good friend of ours, Herman from the Strand. So he's got all of these qualifications in science and mathematics and things like that. And then he's been in nutrition and a great interest in healthcare for close on 30 years. And I think he has something like ridiculous, like 7 diplomas in nutrition. So Herman, genetically modified organisms, GMO, what's this all about? Off you go.
Well, they look very much like you, but okay, let's go on. Good evening, everybody. It's quite an interesting topic with a lot of different viewpoints, obviously, about it. Just like Chris said, the qualifications. Just quickly show that there. Just remember disclaimer, this is from a primary healthcare perspective. I'm not a medical doctor, so what I'm mentioning here is from a primary healthcare perspective, how to keep ourselves healthy. I'm not claiming any cures of any diseases, just things that I recommend, the things that I do to stay healthy. Now, the goal of what we're doing here is to introduce people to a healthy and disease-free future, to make a positive difference in people's lives. Because there are so many challenges we're facing nowadays, so we're trying to help people to be healthier. Now, ask yourself, how many people over the age of 50 do you know that are not on some chronic medication? Blood pressure or diabetes, like insulin or metformin or stuff like that. There are plenty, hey, you start thinking about it, that are on, okay? Fortunately, I'm one of those that are not on because I made choices not to be on it. And I made healthy choices. Question is it really normal? If you have all these old age diseases considered to be normal? It's not normal. We just got so used to it. So let's see how GMOs fit into the picture. Let's start with something else. You know, we learn and science learns and develops over years. I mean, these are adverts from the 1930s. Take note there, cocaine toothache drops for children. And look at the bottom one there. Sugar just might be the willpower you need to curb your appetite. We've learned since then. Now, science keeps on evolving, and we must have an open mind and be willing to learn, not get stuck on some ideas because we might end up with eggs in the faces, like these people who wrote these adverts. But what is GMO? Scientists can change the genetic makeup of an organism in the lab. Okay? They change the structure of the DNA. The DNA you find inside your cell is at the nucleus, is part of your chromosomes. You know the crime stories you always hear about the DNA on the scene, they test it and so on. They just test for markers and so forth. Right. The gene used may come from bacteria, insects, or animals, and they insert it into a specific target. They look for a specific trait, maybe it's tall or short or round, whatever it is, they insert it into a specific target as well. And therefore, the genetically modified organism, and then because from one type of organism to another, it's called transgenic. You transfer genes from one type of organism to another. That's transgenic. Now, changing DNA using scientific methods, what do they do? They can add or insert a gene. Now, this picture is a model of a DNA molecule, and you see the tweezer text at the section. Now, that's basically the idea of taking, inserting, or removing a part of a DNA molecule or a part of a gene. Remove or insert. They can switch a gene on or off. Have you ever heard about fish that change gender? It's because genes can switch on and off. Certain cancers are caused because genes are switched on and off. You can change one molecule of a gene, and let's start talking about point mutations and stuff like that. You can change the histones, that's the protein around which the DNA is wrapped. Methylation is an example of that. And transgenic organisms get produced when genes from other organisms are then used. Now, farmers for centuries have been using artificial selection by taking one sheep with a lot of meat, for example, breeding with another sheep that's much bigger or something, and they create a better sheep for farming purposes. Now, that's obviously just selecting desirable traits, cross-pollination of plants, that we've done centuries, but we're not did not mess inside the cells itself. We let nature combine the genes. But now we mess around with the genes itself. Now, what are the advantages of genetically engineering plants? You have the possibility of larger fruit and vegetables, which is great. You can have more fruit and vegetables per plant. Also a great idea. You can have drought-resistant crops. So in dry areas, we might have been able to plant crops. You can now plant crops. You can have disease-resistant crops. You can spray herbicides without killing the crop. Now that's fantastic because weeds always a problem. So you can spray herbicide over the crop and the crop doesn't die. Fantastic. And they're doing this, by the way. Produce more food in the process because of all this. It can even lead to cheaper food eventually. The food might even be tastier, more nutritious. They did that with rice, for example. You may need less pesticides because the plant is pest resistant. You can grow plants faster, and therefore it can lead to food security. So it sounds really nice, the concept. And it's true, the concept sounds really nice. But there are many questions we have to answer as well. What are the disadvantages of doing this? The genetically engineered foods are very often unstable in terms of the DNA. So when you mess with it, you can actually cause some byproducts in the process. Genetically modified foods sometimes can lead to allergic reactions as well, because proteins get formed that you don't expect. Antibiotic resistance can develop in humans. Immunosuppression can happen in humans. Cancer, loss of nutrition, sometimes you don't do it properly, the food can actually have less nutrition. It can produce toxins or foreign proteins in the plant. I'll explain the reason for that a bit later on. Crop food and vegetables may contain herbicide. Remember, you said they spray the crops with the herbicide to kill the weeds. That herbicide is systemic. It goes into the crop and into the food that you eat. You can't wash it off, in other words. It can release toxins into the soil, which can also disrupt the soil normal habitat. Cross-pollination with wild plants, weeds, and other non-GMO crops. And yes, they are already super weeds already. They're cross-pollinated with some of these plants, and now the weed killer doesn't kill those weeds at all. Pests can become resistant to the pesticides as well. So there are quite a number of negatives also. It can disrupt the biodiversity of plants and animals in the process also. Now, why the uncertainty and the caution? Because there's so many benefits. Well, list of disadvantages I just mentioned already, some reasons for caution. Look at some more examples. A gene may code for more than one protein. To put it simple, you might have seen movies of mad scientists, take a gene from a fly and put it into, let's say, a worm, and suddenly the worm grows wings. That type of thing. Now, interesting enough, they've actually found that the gene that codes a wing, for example, let's say in a fly, might code for a leg in a worm, not for a wing. So the idea that the gene only codes for one thing is out the window, doesn't exist. A gene can code for more than one thing. And therefore, it may have an unknown function if you take from one organism to another organism. A gene may affect another gene in the nucleus, like I've said, that switches on or off. There's a lot we do not know about how genes function. We're still learning. We're actually in the baby shoes, really. We need more research to clarify all these issues and many other issues we need to clarify. A gene can be read backwards. When we read a sentence, we read it from left to right, well, unless you're a Chinese or a Jew, okay? But a gene can read backwards as well and can skip parts of the code. And that's why it can code for more than one protein. Let me give you an example. Here's a sentence. The gene codes for good proteins that prevent disease. That's a sentence. But if we leave certain things out, we can read different sentences. The gene for protein disease codes for disease. And that's what happens in a cell. And then you can also read it backwards. Disease good for gene. So a gene can code for more than one protein. And unless we know all these combinations, It's a risk to take a gene and put it into another organism because you're not sure what's going to be produced in the other organism. The code is still a mystery. We're still learning. Well, countries ban GMO. Many countries ban GMOs. So why would they ban it if it's harmless or if there are no concerns? Okay, makes you ask questions. If some countries ban it, they must have good reasons why they ban it. Various studies have been done on animals and health implications of GM foods. Health risks include infertility, immune problems, accelerated aging, problematic insulin regulation, diabetics. Think about that. Stomach problems, reduction in digestive enzymes, liver toxicity, allergic reactions, antibiotic resistance, cancer, etc., etc. You see at the bottom, I have got my sources as well. You can't predict all these consequences. Although companies may claim these foods have got advantages, they're safe, no health risk, you can't explain this. And long-term exposure is the big problem. We don't know the consequences yet. Now, do you want to risk your health? I mean, I would rather be cautious. You only have one health. If your health is messed up, you might not be able to fix it again. So why risk it? Here, toxicologists at the Environmental Working Group said children in the US are regularly exposed to this cancer-causing weed killer through the food they eat virtually every day. I'm going to talk more about the weed killer in a few moments. A commonly used weed killer showed up in more than 80% of more than 2,300 people tested, including children as young as 6. In the weed killer is glyphosate. And then they show the urine samples they've tested. Almost a third of the samples came from minors. So if you love your children, think twice about GMOs. Take note, glyphosate found in human urine has been rising steadily since the 1990s when Monsanto started with GMO crops. And Roundup. Roundup contains glyphosate as an active ingredient. This was in 2017 by University of California, San Diego School of Medicine researchers. Children are more heavily exposed to pesticides. A particular concern is glyphosate, which you find in Roundup. Many studies that claim GMO foods are safe come from the producers of GMOs or from researchers paid by these companies. There should be a red flag once you see that. Such studies often contradict studies that indicate that GMO crops may not be safe. Now, this begs a question about the reliability of the studies that claim that GMO foods are safe. Real-life cases often show us that we cannot take research for granted. We must do our homework. Examples, Erin Brockovich, Dark Waters, go watch those movies. Claims were made about the safety of certain things. Dark Waters, as far as it knows, about Teflon. But go watch those movies. And it shows that the research cannot always be trusted. There's another publication of PubMed. GMO foods are starting to induce concerns being expressed. These concerns as well as the limitations of the procedures followed in the evaluation of their safety. So the research done to test for safety, there are limitations on the procedures used. And there are concerns about that. So how accurate are those safety studies then? Animal toxicity studies with GMO foods have shown that toxically affect several organs and systems in the body. We need many years of research to really find the answers. But it can be your liver, it can be your pancreas, it can be your kidneys, reproductive organs, all over the body can be affected. We need more research. The use of recombinant G8 or its expression in animals should be re-examined since it has been shown that the G8 increases IGF-1, which may promote cancer. So it's a substance that is formed then that forms cancer or promotes cancer. Dr. Cerulini's 3-year study, the rats showing they got cancer from GM foods. GMO crops are relatively new, and we do not have enough information on long-term safety and health effects published by Medical News today. Several health concerns. And evidence for them varies. You see, I'm trying to show you there are so many concerns, and people are trying to wipe the concerns off the table and pretend they don't exist. And it's all because of making more money, I suppose. Uncertainty is the issue. So why take the risk with your health? Now, how do you avoid GMO foods? Well, firstly, say no to GMO foods. If you know they're GMO, don't buy them. Don't buy products that contain GMO. The most common GMO crops: sugar beets, soy, canola, cotton, and corn. There are others as well, but these are the most common ones. And many other crops or processed foods contain, like cotton, ingredients from cotton, from corn, sorry. Okay? We find a lot of these things inside. So they use corn syrup to sweeten things. So it's very challenging to decipher the long-term effects, so rather be safe. Buy food that shows that it's organic or non-GMO. Many sprays are systemic. I touched on this already. They spray the crops. The pesticide goes inside the food that we eat in the end. Okay? I like this cartoon. You also eat these with the mask on. That mask won't help at all, eh? And here's a culprit. One of the main culprits. Not only one, but one of the main ones. More than 95% of all chronic disease is caused by food choice. Toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and lack of physical exercise. And here's the other danger. Sometimes you see non-GMO on food. Look what happened in this case. Consumer Reports saw this chip, and they tested it, and they found it to be GMO. They took this company to court. The company won the case because their lawyer said the non-GMO on the packaging is for the packaging. Now, I suppose the no gluten and the no trans fats also applies with packaging as well. Okay. So they got away with it. Common GMOs, those are common GMOs all over. And papayas as well in some countries, potatoes in some countries, and so on. Canola oil is the third most widely consumed vegetable oil in the world. It's a key ingredient in many foods. It's sold directly to consumers as margarine or cooking oil. And it's even used to make lipstick. Not just food. Now, people, from a food point of view, canola oil is also full of omega-6. Omega-6 causes inflammation. Yes, we must get some omega-6 in your diet, but we get too much. No wonder we get so a lot of health issues, because our bodies are totally inflamed most of the time. GMO corn has been used to make ethanol, high fructose corn syrup, etc., sweetness, cornstarch, alcohol, human food or drink, and so on. Shortening and margarine to make vitamin carriers. Now, that's frightening. Being used, in other words, in certain substances as vitamin carriers. As an ingredient to make mayonnaise, and sauces, and soups. So not only from a GMO point of view, but also omega-6 point of view, canola is not a good idea to start with. Glyphosate-resistant sugar beet sensitively adopted USA. Glyphosate is a problem. Cottonseed oil is used in salads. And cotton also sprayed with pesticides. Also GMO. Now, the biggest threat caused by GMO foods is that they can have harmful effects on the human body. Development of diseases, like we mentioned before. I'm just reinforcing the points. Your immune system can go down, immunity to antibiotics, long-term side effects, health issues of the kidneys and other organs. Milk is another problem. There's a hormone. Some countries have banned this hormone, in Europe, for example, but it's used in South Africa, just use a different name in South Africa for it, but it's a GMO hormone. They inject the cows with this, the cows will produce more milk, but these cows will suffer more physical and mental strain than other cows, with 10 medical problems linked to this hormone as well. Several studies have found that IGF-1 levels at the high end of the normal range may influence the development of certain tumors if you drink the milk. May increase the risk of breast cancer and other types of cancer in humans that consume the milk. So the typical milk you buy at the corner cafe, not so safe as they claim it to be. The milk may contain antibiotics, which may lead to lactose intolerance in humans that consume the milk. And by the way, those cows very often get treated with antibiotics because they get infections, and pus might even end up in the milk as well, by the way. There's a possible link to glucose resistance. Again, diabetes. Diabetes has been increased so much over the years, and it might just be the GMO was part of the problem, or is part of the problem. Now, with all this possibility of getting toxins inside your body from GMO crops, the glyphosate and other pesticides and so on, you might need to detox your body. Now, what reasons are there to detox the body? Let's look. To remove toxins, obviously, from the body, like the name says. To increase your or improve your immune function. It might be a jump start your weight loss program. Even yes, you may actually have a bigger mass, bigger weight because of toxins. Slow premature aging, as well as increase your energy if you do detox. Get rid of all these toxins by GMO foods and other toxins from food. Now, how do you know you need a detox? Firstly, digestion might be sluggish or bloated. You might be tired more than usual. You might be moody. Men, okay, your wives, okay, maybe they need detoxes, okay. Sleep, you may struggle with sleep patterns. Your mind your concentration might not be what it should be. Memory might not be well. Skin might not be healthy. Weight not ideal. And yes, there are many recipes on the internet available. If you've got time to make juices and stuff, read them up. But be careful, some of them might, if you don't use organic fruit and vegetables in this, you might actually put toxins back in your body again. So be careful. And if you're diabetic, be careful, some of these might actually contain things that will boost your sugar levels again, spike them. So another method would be to go for supplements, but then you need good, safe supplements to help you maintain good health. Now, there are so many supplements on the market. You start going to shop and all over the internet. Now, which ones do you buy? I mean, it's crazy. What must you look for? First, is it made from whole food? Because it's not, it's a good idea. And all these studies that show they actually get digested. You know, there are actually some supplements, if you swallow them, and you go to the toilet to serve, you can actually catch them at the bottom again. Rinse them off and swallow them again because they don't digest. Yes, true, they are. And even if it does digest, does it actually get absorbed into the bloodstream? And are there human clinical trials that show that those supplements actually help you? Yes, many supplements actually harm you. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, I've got a video called Your Supplement Might Be Killing You. Check that out if you want to know more about this. Are the minerals chelated? That helps you better absorption of minerals. Is it manufactured under pharmaceutical license? Because that means you can trust the label. And is it free of GMO, toxins, synthetics, artificial substances, and such as sweeteners and stuff like that? Okay. Be careful. There's some antioxidants made from pine bark, and pine bark actually contains toxins to keep bugs away. So that's what I say. Look for supplements made from food. And are there third-party seals that recommend it or show its quality has been tested? Okay, like these seals. Here's a detox program I've used myself and will use in the future as well. It's easy, simple, and effective. And it has been, yes, it has been tested. 2 steps: cleanse and balance and energize. In just 3 days. So no 30 days type thing. You can do this once every second month if you want to, or twice or 3 times a year if you want to. but they wanted to eat fruit, vegetables only fruit and vegetables, but make sure they're organic or clean and washed and stuff like that. When you get rid of toxins, you don't put toxins back. And then day 3, you reintroduce healthy foods again. It's whole food based, no chemicals, no drugs, only whole food supplements. And here are the supplements that form part of this program. Stage 6, garlic alum complex, beta-guard, acidophilus plus. We'll talk about each of them very briefly, just to give an idea of why I recommend these. Okay? Because there are, you may say, but there's similar products on the market. You know, there are garlic products on the market that say odorless garlic. Oh, please. They're taking the good stuff out to make it odorless. I mean, that's a waste of money. So you need to look at what you buy. And industry first, beta-guard. This was actually developed by Dr. Arthur First. He is a double Nobel Prize winner for his research in cancer and chemotherapy. He developed this product from food. And this product actually kicks out chemotherapy and other toxins. Now, other benefits, it kicks out heavy metals. It's whole food. It has 7 families of antioxidants and helps with eye problems like bad night vision, cataract, eye challenges, and great for allergies as well, and skin issues, and many more. Another industry first is your targeted delivery technology. Garlic alum complex, acidophilus plus, very important. They must not start dissolving in the stomach. Your stomach acid destroys the good stuff. I mean, if you eat like yogurt with live cultures, about 99% of the good cultures actually get destroyed with stomach acid. So what's the use of taking a probiotic? Your stomach acid destroys almost everything in it, unless you have something that's targeted delivery. Let's look at this very quickly. Garlic alum complex consists of more than just garlic. All 5 families of allium to produce allicin, the allicin that you want. It's target loaded, otherwise it starts dissolving once it passes through the stomach. Stomach acid can't damage it. It's also great for high blood pressure, help the body cope with that, help immune system issues, colon problems, for bad bacteria in your gut, for getting rid of parasites, help the cardiovascular system, helps with fluid, bowel movement problems, and bladder infections. So it helps the body cope with many issues. Garlic is a very well-known studied herb. Acidophilus. Now, this product, Acidophilus Plus, one little capsule equals 10 servings of yogurt or 5 servings of acidophilus milk. And guess what? This capsule goes through the stomach undamaged and releases the good bacteria in your gut where you need it. And it contains 5 billion. I wish there's so many rands or dollars. Okay. 5 billion lactobacillus. Make sure it's enteric coated like this one. It contains all the lactobacillus families. It goes for bladder infections, for slow stools, for colon problems, depression, bloating and gas problems, allergies, and keep your gut flora healthy. People, I get such a laugh when people buy these probiotics from the shelf, the powders and stuff. Because, like I said, almost 99% of what's in there, if they're still alive by the time you eat them, will be destroyed by stomach acid in any case. So, waste your money. But to help your body cope further, you need also certain lipids and steroids from whole grains. Okay? This study shows that these lipids and steroids are needed for the cell membrane, so the cell membrane can allow nutrients to go in and waste and toxins to go out. So it helps to detox the cells. The evidence is there. It could be helpful for overall growth and development. The nutrient utilization efficient, otherwise the nutrients get absorbed into the cell. Cardiovascular development, hormonal challenges, monthly cycle problems, low testosterone, balancing overactive, underactive thyroid, depression or stress problems, gives you energy, detoxifies the body, aids the immune system, slowing down aging. That's why I look so young. Okay. Better sleep and for weight management as well. Another industry first is carotid complex. Once you've done your detox, your TNN and your carotenoids, will help to maintain your body to be healthy. Also proven and studied by the USDA, also published. It has so much good stuff for you. Like it improves your immunity by 37% in just 20 days. Now, okay, people with autoimmune diseases, don't panic. It actually also helps to balance the immune system. So people with autoimmune diseases should actually be taking carotid complex to help balance their systems again. It helps the body do that. Okay? It's food. The body needs food. The body has the food, it can do many things. It lowers oxidation and free radical damage to cells. Others, if there are any toxins in the cells, it has to prevent that. Lowers risk of death from coronary heart disease, cancer, other diseases. Stabilizes cholesterol. Lowers the risk of various cancers. Reduces the risk of offspring developing asthma. Quite interesting one there. Protect against cognitive decline. Reduce the risk of stroke. Also good for eye problems like cataracts and macular degeneration, for night vision, for eyesight in general. Protect against UV light. Protect your skin against sunburn, and slowing down aging. Another industry first that also help to maintain your body once you've done your detox is the omega-3 salmon oil plus. The first one to contain all 8 omega-3s is cold processed. And if you don't have all 8 in your diet, the processes can't really work as well as it's supposed to. And if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you are going to lack some of these oils. Because from vegan sources, ALA is your main omega-3. And your body is only 10% effective in converting that ALA, or some of that, into the other 7. And that can only happen if your body is healthy and if your body has got enough other nutrients to do it. It's only 10% effective. So think about not eating fish. You better eat your fish. Might sound fishy, but it's the truth. It's also helpful for circulation and cardiovascular challenges. It lowers inflammation by 68% in 8 weeks if you take the prescribed dosage. Okay, helps you with the lower blood pressure, for example, high or low blood pressure, for sore joints, multi-cycle back pain, arthritis, healthy brain, ADHD, hyperactivity, migraines, headaches, memory retention, mental disorders, depression, eczema, skin problems, allergies, or inflammation, digestive issues like IBS as well, prostate issues, better sleep, healthier pregnancies, and smarter and healthier babies. You can see my mum must have eaten a lot of fish when I was, okay, now let's leave it there, okay. But yes, it's true. It's definitely a big benefit for mums that are pregnant to get a good quality omega-3. Bridge the nutrition gap by taking the TNN, the carotid complex, the salmon oil plus this vitamin mineral supplement you find in this box called Pro Vitality. Okay, if you're like me, I don't eat broccoli. I don't eat cauliflower. There's some other things I also don't eat, but let's stop there. This might be too long. Now, the point I want to make is because I don't eat those things, I miss out on certain nutrients. There's a gap. Let's take another example. You're supposed to eat between 7 and 14 portions of fruit and vegetables per day. I guess you're lucky if you get to 3. Most people will get only 1 or 2 or 3 a day. Fill the gap with something like this. This is what this Pro Vitality is meant, to fill that gap between what we are eating and what we are supposed to eat. And then I also use the shake. It's a meal replacement. I use with the Pro Vitality. That gives me 56 of the 59 nutrient families. Yes, there are no herbs in there, for example, that like feminine herbs. I don't think I want feminine herbs in any case. But 56, 59 nutrient families. You see all things in there. Protein, fiber, I mean, all 22 amino acids you need. Okay? You need 22. Many books talk about 20 only. The 20 is only to make proteins. But the other 2 is needed for also for things like neurotransmitters and antibodies and stuff like that. You need all 22. It's a lactose, 90% lactose free, no preservatives, no GMOs. PDC AAS score of about 1.7, which means very high absorbability of the protein. No sugar spikes and contains digestive enzymes. It's good for pregnancy and morning sickness for babies even. Maybe not the first 1, 2, 3 months, but after then you can start introducing slowly into the baby's diet. It is a good meal replacement, good for kidney liver problems. Interesting one. If people get kidney problems, they normally cannot use a shake. They can't actually use this shake because the way it is processed and made. It helps also glycemic control, for energy, okay, for weight management, and for people with gastric bypass operations, very good because the nutrients very easily absorbed from this product. Yes, research has shown that it doesn't spike the sugar. If you use as the dosage says, you must use it. Now, I've shown you concerns about GMO. I've shown you some supplements you can use to detox. And once you detox, also supplements you can use to stay healthy. Now, I want to make a suggestion. If you want those products, contact the person that invited you and ask the person about becoming a promoter so you can get the products at a discount, between 20 to 40% discount. You can just register for the discount if you want to. That's also possible. But you can earn an income which you can use to pay for the products that you want to use as well, by either sharing the business or the products with other people. You can even replace your job. There's a healthcare range, massive healthcare range, the world's best. You're in good company if you use it. You see, I had to put this one here. Congratulations, Curtly Aronson, man of the match. South Africa, 43, Australia, 12 this Saturday. He scored 3 tries. And you see what? He's on new life. You see, he's got new life in the rugby as well. And some other sportsmen as well, women that use the products. There's also an organic skincare range because your skincare products can also put toxins in your body. Not just the food that you eat, but the products you put on your skin. There's also a personal care range as well. There's also a home care range. It's can also put a lot of toxins in your body. You need to detox. For example, Dettol in South Africa will cost you more than 100 rand per liter. We can replace that with a tested one, less than 22 rand per liter. Come on, why pay that much for Dettol then? Laundry powders, look at the difference as well. So you can save money with non-toxic cleaning products as well. A plan. Use products as you need it and save money. I'm just showing you can save money. Get educated on how to use it. Help other people save money. Help them to register so they can save money. Share products. Why? Because if you share products, you can make money and use that money to buy the products you want. So what are your options? Ask the person that invited you for more information. Register as a promoter. Get all the benefits. And you can build a fantastic international business. Register for free as a member. Third products at about 10% discount give and take and save, or buy the products at retail and you can still save on the cleaning products and the monthly expenses. Consider joining us in your quest to make the world a healthy and happier place. Work with us. Let's make the world better. So many people are suffering unnecessarily because of ignorance. Let's help them. Contact the person who invited you for more information.